A literary festival. So a busy weekend ahead, and every year over those 7 years, well, the festival has grown. The official opening is on Friday night with Michael Harding, the author. Mind you, there's a precursor, an event tomorrow night. But why do I need to tell you about it when Donnan Harvey, who's the secretary of Letterkenny Cathedral Quarter, joins us in the studio? We're streaming live as well, YouTube and Facebook if you want to look in. Donnan, a busy weekend ahead.
A busy weekend, but I suppose in many ways it's this is the highlight of the Cathedral Quarter calendar, because this is, even though we run a few other events, this is the event that we do solely by ourselves.
Yeah.
And no, it's we're in now our 7th year, and again we're delighted that it's going ahead. And even there, the last 2 years during like COVID, we did the 2021 online, and then last year was kind of a hybrid. So it's great that now people are out and about and it's back to normal.
Back to normal is proper in person. And you managed to get to Michael Harding for the opening, and we're due to have him on. He's a new book out, and we're due to have him on, I think, next week. But great man to get for the opening.
Oh, delighted to get him, and no, just when we rang him on the day to look for him, he was in Letterkenny that day, so it just everything fell into place, and we're really looking forward to him doing the official opening, and then he's also participating in a kind of masterclass the following day as well.
That's right, on Saturday.
On the Saturday morning down in Dublin. So
yeah, tell us a wee bit about that. That's for people who might be interested in writing.
Yeah, so it's in different genres of writing. So we've got Michael Harding, obviously, and then we've also got Mary Turley McGrath, who's a poet, and then Karen Quinn, who's a script writer. So it's not just the like an author or novels or anything like that. There's different styles of writing, and delighted Jean Curran is going to be doing the MC, and it's a very informal, so it's inspirations and influence, but it's also then we'll open it up to the floor, and questions from the crowd, the audience, to see for the different participants.
And it'll be an informal, relaxed.
It's a very relaxed event.
Okay, that's on the Saturday.
That's on the Saturday
at 11.
At 11.
All right. And then on Saturday afternoon, you have you've got Niamh Brennan from Donegal County Archives looking back at some social history.
Yeah.
In what way?
Yeah. So Niamh's going to be looking at the photographs, linking the Gweedore Hotel, which was owned by Lord George Hill, and then the photo album that of the Jane Austen's relatives, which the archives, I think, purchased earlier on in the year, and just making the link between the two of them.
It's between the visitors book,
the visitor books,
hotel,
and the actual photographs that they have. So, and again, when it was Karen Evers who opened one of her festivals beforehand, when she bought this book on eBay and discovered that Jane Austen's relatives in Ireland were in and it made headlines around the world, and since that the county archives have got them now in their possession, so it's a great resource for the county. And again, I suppose the literary festival started out because of Donegal's unique links with Jane Austen, and we'll always be an Austen event in the literary festival.
And the main links are her nieces.
Her 3 nieces are buried. One is buried in Conwell Parish Church, and the other nieces are buried in Tully Graveyard outside of Ramelton. And I think it was Cassandra Jane. She died in giving childbirth in Gortley House, which is again another historical fact that not too many people know about. And then the name escapes me, but the other one. One of the other nieces came over to mind the children, and then she subsequently married Lord George Hill. So it's a fascinating history, and again that we know that Jane Austen's name resonates around the world. So we're delighted.
If you're having a literary festival, it's a great name to have associated with it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And then on Saturday evening, there is some poetry in Insomnia, some poetry reading.
Yeah, and we're delighted because as much as the names of Austin and then even Brendan Behan, it's all about promoting the local. And the last couple of years, the Rafo Diamond writers have been very generous with their time and participated in their festival, and we're delighted to give them a platform. And so we're delighted. And again, Insomnia is a perfect location as a coffee house to hear some short stories and some poetry.
Absolutely.
And so we're delighted that that's going to be back in person again.
And Saturday is a really busy day because it's not finished at that, because Saturday evening then, or Saturday night in the Dillons, some writers that are based in Letterkenny are going to read from their work.
Yeah, so we got James Finnegan, who's is good. He's got his second book published there, The Weather-Beaten Scarecrow, second poetry collection, and then we've got Teresa Ryder, who's just recently moved to Letterkenny, and we're delighted that Teresa's going to be contributed, and then also Deirdre Hines as well. It's going to be participating in the event that celebrating local writers at 8 p.m. in Dillons. Okay. So no, it's we're looking forward to that.
Then on Sunday, you mentioned Brendan Behan, and there's going to be some of his work involved at lunchtime in Dillons.
Yeah, so again, that was as much there. The Austin one was that last year's festival was dedicated to Brendan Behan because we celebrated the 60th anniversary of Brendan Behan's visit to Letterkenny, and Brendan's daughter, Blanded Behan Walker, officially opened the festival last year. And we're delighted that Deirdre McMahon is coming now to give a talk about his life in Paris. And there's also be poetry, some of Behan's poetry, and the Elusive Theatre putting on some scenes from one of his radio plays as well, moving out. So it's again, it's one of the things that they had last year that his daughter Blanded was. She was really appreciative of the fact that we're bringing her father back into the public consciousness, and anything we can do to celebrate his works that we hope to do. And then even Deirdre was informing me it's going to be the 100th anniversary of his birth next year.
Okay.
So I'm sure there'll be the highlight be brought back onto the writer himself, and we'll definitely be looking to do more Behan stuff next year as well.
And there's music then on Sunday afternoon, the Cornwall Parish Church with the Donegal Chamber Orchestra playing some pieces of Vivaldi and Holst and by others. And Castleinore, a lot of us will be familiar with Castleinore from school.
Yeah.
And having to wade through it at school.
Yeah, so I don't think I did the for me leaving cert. But
well,
again,
I haven't happy memories of it. That's all I know about it. But anyhow, maybe there'll be people looking at it through different.
Yeah, well,
eyes,
again, I suppose kind of
a more enlightened approach.
Yeah, and again, that it goes back to last year. One of the events that we had last year was the Gaelic writing of Brendan Behan, and we thought that we'll have an Irish event in the and like we kind of Línar Leitrim be very kind of promoting the language here and promoting this event and to encourage that it's the literary it can go span different languages. It just doesn't have to be English as well. So, and we're delighted that Father Sean O'Gallagher is going to be giving a lecture on the themes of Castleinore as well, and we're just looking forward to that.
And the final event then of the festival on Sunday is about Lewis J. Walsh, and he was an author and a politician and a judge, but born in Magherafelt. But what's his connection to Donegal?
Well, he was, I suppose, he was a contemporary of James Joyce's, and some of his grandchildren will be very well known around the town here, and the Walshes, so Paddy and Brian and Louis and things like that there. And I suppose even this event that I suppose again I should mention that the festival is dedicated in the memory of our friend and colleague Jim Lynch, who's just recently passed. And one of the events with Jim was always he was strong in advocating that we should have local talent and the local heritage. And Brian is going to put on a lecture and performance about his grandfather and about some of the material that his grandfather wrote. So again, it should be kind of for people from the town. It should be an item of great interest.
And is it him that Justice Walsh Road's named after?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So that is on Sunday. Whereabouts on Sunday is that?
It's in Dillon's as well. And suppose the other side of the one, the festivals as well, that we started. Our festival was initially going to clash with the Francis Brown Festival, so we moved this festival back a week. But what we're looking to do, we've been kind of in talks with the committee from the Francis Brown Festival as well, that the idea of promoting the two festivals, so that if you come to Donegal, there's a chance that you'll get not one, but two festivals at this time of the year.
Literary festivals, okay. I mentioned at the start the precursor event. That is tomorrow night with the West Ocean String Quartet. That's in the Regional Cultural Centre. And you just touched on it there about how this year the festival is in the memory of Jim Lynch, who passed away recently.
Yeah.
And Jim was very instrumental in promoting the Kenny Cathedral Quarter and everything you've done.
Yeah, so again, it was Jim's vision, I suppose, 30 years ago when he talked in the town council, and it's great. Well, it's sad in one way that what he envisaged all those years ago, that now, and it was great that in his lifetime that he started to see the seeds were really growing, and now the local authority are on board and the government are backing what he envisaged, and now it's starting to really come on board. So it's I suppose a happy, sweet or sad, sweet memory at the same time.
Okay. Well, it's the Letterkenny Literary Festival, and it, in a way, gets underway tomorrow night in the RCC, and then the official opening is on Friday night with Michael Harding. Donnan, thank you very much.
Thanks very much, John.
Go full Irish with all the makings of a great breakfast.